Hello everybody. Guess I'll give a little introduction on myself. Um, my name is Ryan. I guess you could call me a Tekken veteran. I've been playing this game for, give or take 20 years. I started playing this game when I was a kid with my mother, and then I came to really enjoy the series. I found it to be, possibly one of the most unique games I've ever really played, not just as a fighter, but as a game in general. Really enjoy it. I really want other people to enjoy it. Figured I could make this channel into, something to encourage new players, I guess, to want to dive deeper into Tekken and all of the crazy situations that this game throws at you. So I am originally a Jun Kazama player. However, sadly she is not in this game yet. Hoping that Harada will show me some mercy, will show us some mercy as a community and put her in there, although I really do want her in there. But anyway, so Anna is one of my new main characters in this game. I really came to love her and Nina. Basically, Anna's game plan that you want to be doing with her is she's a rushdown character. She's a very great rushdown character from what I've seen so far. She's kind of high risk, high reward, which is, I guess, a downside depending on how you look at it. But basically, she wants to be in her opponent's face most of the time, like about 90% of the time. She's also pretty good at whiff punishing, just like Nina is, also her sister over here. And besides that, I guess we'll get into punishment to start off with first. So for 10 frames, Anna has her generic 1-2. It's just a regular 1-2. It doesn't really do anything special. Gives you 17 damage. She also has 2-4, which is a little bit better. Gives her 32 damage. Also, it wall splats, so that's good. It's a good option. It's nice chunky damage right there. But what I mainly use with her, punishing wise too, this is just as a whole too, not just throughout all the frames of punishment. I usually just use 2-3. Just because 2-3 is pretty much like one of Anna's best punishers. Also, if you hold back on 2-3, you go into her Chaos Judgement stance, which gives you a little bit of a mix-up there. Another thing I really like about 2-3 too, also, that not everybody else has, I don't really see it. I think maybe Gigas and like a few other members of the cast have it, but as you see, Anna's 2-3 is a high mid. So a lot of the times too, when you're going out and punishing, at least what I notice when I use her, people are not very aware that it's a mid a lot of the time, or I usually get like, because people are, if they're gonna duck you, if they know it's their move that they use is unsafe by like 10-11 frames, they're gonna duck thinking you're gonna use two highs like a 1-2 or something like that. Both of these are high, but the high mid from the 2-3 actually gives you the hit, and then you're able to go into your stance for the mix-up. Gives it a good little wake up, hey, stop ducking, which is typically Anna and Nina are characters that have lots of high moves, lots of highs and lows in their strings, so people tend to duck a lot against them, so 2-3 is a very good option for her to have. So next up at 12 frames, she has her, this isn't really a punish, but I wouldn't just throw this out as a punisher most of the time, but she does have, at 12 frames, she has down 4-1. You can just use this, however, down 4-1 is one of her, more useful tools, I think. She uses it a lot in combos, and also she gets a sidestep stance transition out of it. Well, sidestep isn't really stance, but she has moves that are pretty important out of her sidestep. So at 13 frames, Anna has her down forward 1-2, which gives her 23 damage. It's not too damaging, but it's enough to get the job done. Especially because it's a mid, it's fast, and its down forward 1 actually is very good on its own. It leaves her at +5, I believe, if I'm correct. I wrote a few notes here too, so don't mind me if I'm, you hear me flipping through some pages. So yeah, she has her down forward 1-2 for 13 frame Punisher. For 14 frames, she has forward 2-3, which is very good. I love this punish so much. Don't really use it too often, considering it's high. Does have pretty good range though. If you can, well, not from there. Probably at about like, you know, 1.5 steps she can hit Nina right here. She also has forward 2+3. Oops, not 2+3. Oh, yep, there we go. Sorry. She has forward 2+3, which is this hip check, or butt bounce, whatever you want to call it. This is not a very good move. It is, you know, 14 frames, so you can use it for a punisher. But I mean, 2-3 I think is, oops, not that move. 2-3 is probably a lot better, I think, and also does 34 damage as opposed to 25. She also has down forward 3-2 for 14 frames. This is also a good option. It gives her 25 damage, and as you can see, she does that little sway down into her roll dash. That's one of her stances that she has. So yeah, she has 2-3. You can do it. You can go into her crouch dash, or from 2-3 you can also go into sidestep, which is another important thing for Ana. She also has down forward 3-4, which is a nice 33 damage. Gives you a wall splat. So she's got a couple different options. Most of the time I end up using, you know, forward 3-2, just for the. I like to use the stuff that has a lot of damage. For 16 frames, Ana has her down forward 2, which is her first. Well, actually, sorry, I skipped over her 15 frame. For 15 frames, Ana has back 2-2. This isn't really a great move, considering. I mean, it is a homing move, as you can see by the little sparks here on the first hit. But the thing with this move is, if you use it on a female opponent and they also press, I think it's 2-2 or back 2-2 back when you're using it, they can actually, you get the first hit off, I believe, but then they interrupt you and then end up slapping you back. So it's not very good. And then on top of it, you see she gets knocked down, so it doesn't really launch. You can get actually, I thought you were able to get the wine opener, but can't really get it to work. Yeah, I think you can, maybe you can get that. I guess you can get her snake edge, but it's not super consistent. I missed it that first time. But yeah, basically don't really use that move a lot. You'd want to instead use her 16 frame launcher, well, 16 frame punish, but also her first launcher. 16 frames is her down forward 2, which is, you know, kind of okay, I guess. It's basically, you know, it's what she's got to work with. I'm pretty sure it looks like it high crushes during like the beginning startup frames, so I mean that's good. At least it is safe, I believe. Not too sure about the frame data on it, other than that it's a 16 frame startup, but you know, it's pretty good for what she's got. At 17 frames, Ana has, I actually really like this move a lot. At 17 frames, Ana has her forward 3, which is very good. If you can use it, it's got a lot of range on it. See, it reaches like all the way out of like, this is like 3, I guess, or 4 maybe. Well, not that far, but see, I can pick, it just kind of scoops Nina up from that range out here. You kind of have to get used to, if you're actually going to use this move, you have to get used to the forward input. You have to learn how to, because you can put it in really quickly and buffer it and not get a lot of range out of it, or you can use it from, you know, I mean, you can still use it from a distance and then do a slow forward input and get more range out of it. So just have to get used to the execution with it, but it's not that difficult. Okay, so it's pretty much the important ones that I think you should be using with Ana, as far as punishment goes. Most of the time, you should be using a 2-3. I mean, that's what I use at least. It's really good because she can transition into Chaos Judgment, and then you get other stuff that, you know, helps you keep the opponent guessing, which is what you want to be doing with her a lot of the time too, because she's a rush down character. So if you are in the opponent's face, you just want to make sure you're hitting them constantly, staying at plus frames. So also for while standing punishment, at 11 frames, Anna has her while standing 4, which is kind of generic, 16 frames, or not 16 frames, 16 damage, 11 frames. Also, she has while standing 3, which is definitely better. I'm not super used to using while standing 3, just because while standing 4 is such a reactionary move to use when you're coming from while standing position with most characters. But Anna's while standing 3 is very good. It's 4 more damage than her while standing 4 is. Also, if you hold back after you use while standing 3, it transitions into Chaos Judgment. So, very good. Also, she has, for while standing punishment, she has her 13 frames is while standing 1-2. It's basically the same as down forward 1-2, only 1 less damage. Pretty good though, considering she doesn't really have, I mean, she has a, for 19 frames she has a launcher while standing 2, but you don't really want to be throwing this out randomly. You can see like it's pretty slow startup, especially on block. It's very punishable. If I can show you guys. Let me see. There you go. I'll show you. Yeah, so don't really want to be throwing that out unless you know 100% for a fact it's gonna hit. Okay, so that's pretty much it for while standing punishment. I guess I'll go into her neutral game too. So for a neutral game, like I said before, 2-3 back is pretty good. You shouldn't really throw it out because the range isn't too good. I mean, the 3 is alright. See, I can hit her from here. But you want to be careful too, especially if you're holding back to transition. You're going to be pretty vulnerable if you whiffed or you're not close enough to, you know, get something in their face. Down forward 1, I think, is a very, very good poke for Anna. It's because it leaves her, it's -1 on block. So you can pretty much just keep doing this unless they're smart enough to realize they can 10 frame punish you if you're going to keep spamming it. But if you do end up hitting them, you're +5 on hit. So there's a lot of times where I throw this out way too much, honestly, because there's a lot of characters in the roster that can punish you if they have a parry, or anything like that. Like Asuka, Noctis, I tend to not do so well, just spamming that move out against. But she's high risk reward, so, you know, do do your thing. You know, I think you know what you're gonna feel how you're gonna be able to spam this move out against certain characters. But however, this move is very good though if you get the plus frames on hit, just because there's times too where I'm throwing this out and people are, you know, in rage, they're about to throw their rage art out. I'll hit them with this move and I'm at enough plus frames where I can still block the rage art. So it's a pretty good move for what it is. She also has a quarter circle forward stance, which we will go into after this. But her quarter circle forward 1 is very good. It's a high, so you have to be careful with it because it's stuckable. But it comes out at, I think it's 13 frames, and leaves her in plus frames. Let me see if I can find how many plus frames. Yes, so it is a 13 frame move. Leaves her at +4 on hit. So if you hit them with this, even if they block, you still are at plus frames, but on hit this is very juicy. You can continue your offense and do a bunch of other stuff. So after that too, she has her quarter circle forward 4. This is a very good move to just throw out in neutral. I find I do this a lot, especially the thing with quarter circle forward inputs too. You can see how she moves out. She's got that little sway that she does down, so you can sway in with quarter circle forward, and then after you input it, she does another dash forward, so you can get a little bit of extra range on it. So this is very useful when using quarter circle forward 1 and 4, especially because 4 Forward doesn't really have too much range by itself. If you just sway in like that, you can get them from pretty far. And this low crushes some moves and high crushes a lot. And I think it also, don't quote me on this, but I think it mid crushes sometimes, depending on if it's like a higher hitbox mid. But I don't know. I could be wrong on that. Very good though. Very great move. And one of the best things too about it, if you're using it and the opponent blocks, it has this nice pushback. I believe the move is -12 on block. Yes, -12. So there's going to be a lot of limited options that your opponent has to even try to punish this. And on top of that, it's mainly not really going to get punished that much. It's pretty safe just because of the pushback if they block it. The only time you're really going to get punished is if you whiff. So like this, and they're right there. But yeah, if you hit them with this, there's no way they're really going to be able to do anything to you. So next up, her up forward 3+4. I really like this move a lot. I typically throw this out when I want to go into her full crouch, because Anna does have a good full crouch game also. But this is a 20 frame move, I believe. It is -3 on hit, so you can't do anything after you use it. Well, I mean, you can. I usually, go for some kind of full crouch mix-up, but it's not really wise. If your opponent knows that you're not in a frame advantage, then you shouldn't really throw anything out. You should just sit there, or I mean, you can use her armored move, which is what I like to do a lot of the time, since it like after I think it's like the 8th frame the armor starts, you can just armor through whatever and then step on them, do some crazy stuff. But this move is +5 on hit. So if you do hit them with it, you're actually at a frame advantage and you can do a full crouch mix-up. But on block, you should be careful with it. It does hit grounded as well, if I can just do the move and not mess it up. But it does hit grounded, so you can use it if you knock down the opponent. It's good for Oki and they want to stay on the ground. However, it is pretty linear, so you should be careful with that if they want to tech roll. Sometimes I end up clipping them with the second kick, but it doesn't always happen. And even if you're gonna go for a mix-up afterwards and full crouch, you have to be careful, because if they tech rolled, you're not gonna adjust unless you're, if you spam down and down forward, it'll readjust you. But you have to do it really fast while they're still, hopefully not attacking you yet. And it also has up forward 3, which is a good. I mean, it's not safe, so I wouldn't throw this out all the time. But up forward 3 is a pretty good neutral move if if they do some kind of lows or they're trying to snake edge you or something really gimmicky. This is really good to throw out. Against maybe like Eddie or Xiaoyu maybe. Anybody that's going to want to do some stupid lows, this will just give you a good knockdown. Next move that I really like to use in neutral is forward 4. This is an okay move. It leaves you at neutral on block, so you can't really do anything, but your opponent can't get anything on you, so it's kind of okay. On hit, it gives you this knockdown, so it's basically a little bit of a launcher there. You can get a combo off of it. Yeah, 61. Well, I think you can get more depending on what you do, but that's my generic combo. And it also has a magic 4, so it's a good thing to throw out. She gets a combo off that. You should be careful though. It's 11 frames, -9 on block. So if they end up blocking it, you can't do anything afterwards. Just wait and see what their next move is going to be. And it has down forward. This isn't really a great move, but down forward 3, down forward 3. This is weird little gimmicky string. I use this sometimes when I'm trying to catch them off guard, just because you can throw 3 out, you can throw any amount of 3s, and there's a 4 that comes afterwards, or there's a 1, I believe. Yeah. So it's not really that good because the last hits are high. The first hit's mid, but the thing is, if you hit this mid, the second 2 3s, they actually jail. So if the opponent tries to do anything afterwards, they're gonna still be hit by this, and you get a free 27 damage. The only time that the 4 kick or the 1 is useful is if you're just trying to use, say you're like spamming this move and you don't use the last hit, maybe it'll catch the opponent off guard, you just throw it in every once in a while. But if you're going to continue to use it, the opponent's obviously going to duck because there's so many highs in the string. Another good move in neutral is her down forward one, or not down forward one, sorry, down 4-1. So this is a very, very, very good tool for her. It's good for pickups and combos. It's good for just throwing out sometimes. You need to be careful though too with the high on the 1, because the opponent will duck. A lot of the time, if you just keep throwing this out, the opponent's going to know. They're gonna either low parry you or they're gonna duck. But a lot of times when I use this move, it's just to either sidestep transition into one of her good sidestep moves, or even for plus frames. If this move actually jails too, I believe, on counter hit. Well, no, it's a natural combo on counter hit. Sorry, not jail. So when you throw this out, they'll get hit by the high if they try to do something afterwards. And then when on hit, I believe this is +6. Yeah, +6 on hit. So you're good to, if this high hits them, you're good to continue your offense afterwards. So you can just hit them, do something like 2-3. I love to do 2. I'm so predictable with that stuff. I love to do 2-3 just because it's fast. It's 10 frames and you get Chaos Judgment. But you can, do something quick, like down forward 1-2, down forward 1, anything. You have +6 frames, so it's a lot to work with. Another good move is forward 2. This is a good frame trapping move. Knocks them down. You get her wine opener as a combo right there. If you get the knockdown. On block though, this is actually very, very good though. Let me show you. Yeah, so it's +6 on block. It's also a tailspin move, but you can see, look at that guard stagger right there. So Nina is very vulnerable. Not vulnerable, but she's got to chill out after I use that move. It's a lot of plus frames right there. Okay, next up is back 4. This is a good move to throw out in neutral. It's got some range on it. It's a homing move. It's a mid also, so it's good for opponents that like to duck. I believe it's on counter hit. Yeah, on counter hit it knocks down. I think it wall splats too if you're at the wall. Well, on counter hit at least. But yeah, this is a very, very good move for anybody that wants to sidestep you, because Ana is very sidesteppable a lot of the time. I think, just like Nina. Their moves are pretty linear. They're also very susceptible to being ducked a lot of the time. So you might want to keep this in your arsenal as a pretty important move. She has down forward 4. Yes, this is a good move. Wine opener. I love this move. Ever since I found out it was called wine opener, I was like, ooh, that's definitely a move for me. This move leaves her in plus frames. I can't remember exactly how many. Let me see. Just like to give you guys all the info, because it's very important that you understand how frame data works with Ana and Nina, just because they have so many moves that do leave them on plus, that it's good to keep your offense with those moves. Down forward 4, so it's +5 on hit. It's very good. As you can see, she does that little stagger right there. She's got to get up, and you recover way quicker than she does. However, on block, it's not good at all. So I would definitely be careful with this. It's -16 on block, so you can eat a nasty launcher right there from the opponent if you're not careful with it. But the thing with Ana is you kind of have to take that risk. Again, the high risk, high reward. So sometimes, you know, you'll see, I typically throw like, sometimes I'll throw 2 or 3 of these out at once, depending on, you know, how stupid I think the opponent's going to be at the time. Like, I just try to pressure them and then, you know, just do crazy things that you don't think that they're going to think you're going to do. Okay, so I guess that's it for neutral. Next up, I'll go through her stances. So Anna has 2 stances in this game. She has her Chaos Judgment stance, which you can just access through going to back 3 straight up, which is not really the best way to use it. Typically you're going to want to do it out of one of her transition moves with like 2-3, or she has 1-2-3 back, which is very good. I love doing that, just to throw that in there. So her moves out of Chaos Judgment, for 11 frames, her Chaos Judgment 1, she has this high hit right here. And so you see Nina takes this huge stagger back on hit and counter hit, I believe. This actually leaves you at plus 15 frames. So as you can see, like that crappy 15 frame punisher that she has that you probably should never really use, that's guaranteed after that. So instead of using that, if you're actually going to use this move, it's better to do like forward 2-3, just because you get more damage, better range, it's guaranteed to hit. But yeah, I don't really use that move all that much. I would typically like Anna's other options out of Chaos Judgment better, but it's there. It's good frame advantage. So she also has Chaos Judgment 2, which is not a very good move, but she also has Chaos Judgment 2, oh, sorry, let's quarter circle. Chaos Judgment 2-1, there we go. So this is a good little poking move. +4 on hit, so you do get a little bit of offense to continue afterwards if you hit this move. It's pretty alright. Second hit to mid, which I like. High mids I think are pretty useful a lot of the time. Her Chaos Judgment 3, this is actually a pretty good one. I use this move a lot, just because I like to mix up in Chaos Judgment stance. I usually use her, it's either down, the input is down 3-3 or down back 3-3, which is this low high string, little kick right here, 2 kicks. So this is a very good move with her, because as you can see, it's a low and then goes into a high. It's a natural combo if the low hits, and also it leaves her at +7 frames. So yeah, it's a 15 frame startup, leaves her at +7 frames though. So you can pretty much do anything you want after this move hits. I usually like to do line opener, or you know, anything really. Just be random. If they're gonna let this move hit them, you can just do a lot of stuff. Like typically the faster frame stuff is gonna be good, just because you can still either keep your offense or you know, get some okay damage without having to worry about being interrupted or hit. But yeah, this is a good move. I like to mix this move up with Chaos Judgment 3, just because this move comes out at, this is 12 frames, and once the opponent gets tired of this, I mean, this doesn't do a lot on its own, but as you can see, if I counter hit her, it's a nice little knockdown right there. So you can get a combo. You have to be quick with it, but you can get a combo off of that launcher. And I just messed it up. Wonder if I can. Normally, I think it's like 66 damage or something like that, but yeah. If you get the last string to hit. So this is a good, but yeah, you have to be quick with it too, to pick her up. Or you could always do, you know, down 4-1. It's a little bit less damage, maybe more consistent if you're trying to get used to it, to the knockdown. So those are some good options there. In Chaos Judgment, she also has her 15 frame hop kick, which is good if you want to use that instead of the counter hit. 3. I would definitely recommend it. I throw this out every once in a while. It's not too great just because it's -14 on block, so there's certain characters in the cast that will be able to launch this. But you know, high risk reward, take what you get. So she also has Chaos Judgment 2+3. Yeah, Chaos Judgment 2+3 is her hip check. Not very good. I don't use, oops, if I can get it to work. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so not very good, it's just her hip check. Same frame data, I'm pretty sure. -16 on block. So I wouldn't ever really use this. She also has her Chaos Judgment 1+2. This is better. This is a little bit better maybe to throw out than the counter hit kick. I like to use this just because I never know when they're gonna press anything. I'm just like daring them to press something when I do this. But this gives you plus frames, so it's better to throw this out. And I think it's how much more damage? It's 2 more damage. So, you know, not much, but get more offense out of this. Okay, so that's all the moves that she has out of her Chaos Judgment stance. For her other stance, she has her roll dash. So we already went over a couple of those. The quarter circle forward one, which is really good. 13 frames, leaves you on plus. This is also a very good move for combos. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna be able to do this. There we go. Yeah, so if you can get it to hit, it's typically good. You can do up to like 3 of these, I think, sometimes in combos. This is like her bread and butter damage move. See, I can't even do it right now. The timing's pretty strict on certain moves. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to do it right now, just because I want to keep this video short. Probably, if anything, I'll do a combo video later. I'll give you guys a little bit of you know, combo knowledge at the end. But for now, I just want to go through all her important stuff. So there's that. She has quarter circle forward 2, which is not a very good move on its own. I think it's -12 on block, so I wouldn't really throw that out. She has quarter circle forward 1-2, which is a little bit better. I typically only use this for a combo ender. It's got like pretty okay wall carry. Pretty sure quarter circle 2. Yeah, quarter circle 2 knocks down on counter hit, so you could get a launcher out of that too. I don't think that same one works though. Yeah, no, that doesn't. She falls down too fast for that to work. So you could do, you know, down for 1. Good pickup tool. Don't really throw that out though, just because it's punishable on block. I wouldn't really risk it. There's better moves you can use. So she also has, the good thing though with this is she can transition into Chaos Judgment out of quarter circle 2-1. However, you can't just do the quarter circle 2 and then hold back. You have to do press the 1. There's a lot of moves that are like that, where you have to press the other button and then hold back. So it's quarter circle 2-1 back, and then she transitions into Chaos Judgment stance. Quarter circle forward 3-2 is this move right here. Pretty good, safe on block, mid-high. Wouldn't really throw it out way too much. If you know they're gonna duck, I mean, it's got some range on it, so it's pretty good, especially with the quarter circle forward input. You can just quarter circle forward, then throw the 3 out. It's pretty okay though. It's a tailspin move, so, well, not that move. But yeah, it's a tailspin. It's good for, there's certain combos that I'll use this move in. I don't typically use this move too much, but it's there. It's good. You get a wall splat off of it also. She has quarter circle 3-3-1, which is alright, I suppose. I wouldn't throw this out either. There's those 2 highs at the end, so, you know, your only options after this, because she has quarter circle 3-3-4 or quarter circle 3-3-1, all highs. I go mainly for the 4 just because it has a little bit more range on it if I'm ever gonna do the whole string. Also, it gives me a wall splat. But you know, the thing with quarter circle 331 is it's that same move you get from Chaos Judgment 1. So it does leave you on plus 15, but I still would not throw it out. She has quarter circle 404, which we talked about before also. Negative 12 and a knockdown. Very good move. Just use it in the neutral. Use it pretty much whenever you feel like it. You could probably just spam this out and you're not going to get punished too hard for it, by most of the cast at least. Oh yeah, so I wanted to go over also the transitions into Chaos Judgment and her sidestep, because those are pretty important. So Chaos Judgment, you have back 3, goes straight into Chaos Judgment. Wouldn't really do that too much. She's got 2-3 back, very important. I would do this almost like, I say I transition into Chaos Judgment maybe 90% of the time, every time I do 2-3 back. It's just a really good move and a really good transition out of the really good move. So pretty much just most of the times we're going to use 2-3, which you're going to be using a lot. Make sure you transition. Down forward 1-2 back 3, puts her in there. This is very good also because on forgot to mention on down forward 1-2 she has a 3rd hit. She has one that's a not safe mid on block that gives a knockdown, and then she also has her down forward 1-2-4, which wall splats. I believe it tailspins. Yeah, tailspins. But be careful, it's duckable. Gives a decent amount of damage. It's not all natural, only the first 2 hits are natural for both of these hits. So you can either throw one of these out, or if you want to keep them guessing, just go into Chaos Judgment, which is always a good option. Most of the time I go into Chaos Judgment, unless I want them to try to hit, you know, press a button thinking I'm going to do it, and then I just hit them with like the mid or something and get a knockdown. She also has, while standing, 3 back, or yeah, back 3. Just pretty much hold it while you're pressing the 3 input, or after, doesn't matter. So that's a good one. Just have to get used to using that instead of while standing 4, if that's a automatic reaction like it is for me. She has, oh, this is a good one too, I should have mentioned before. 4-4-3-4-3. So this move isn't too good on its own. It's got a lot of range. If you're not going to just be using 4-4-3, which I use a lot of the time, this is a very good launcher. But sometimes if I think this move is going to whiff or won't connect, I end up just throwing out 3-4-3. But you can't just throw out 3-4-3 if you're going to do that, because it leaves her very, very negative on block. So in order to negate some of that negative frames, you're going to want to go into Chaos Judgment stance, which you do by holding back on the last 3. So it's forward 3-4 back 3 instead of 4-4-3-4-3. But you have to hold it. You have to hold the 3 input, press the back with the last 3 input. You can't hold it afterwards like you can with 2-3 back and then get that. So it'll look something like this. And then a nice thing too that I actually discovered by watching a pro player. I can't remember their name exactly. When I was seeing them playing tournament, they did this if I can do it, this little combo right here. So yeah, this last little string right here, this is a good ender for her for combos that gives her pretty good damage and okay wall carry. But it connects with certain things too that you don't expect it to. I had no idea until I saw that player do it that this actually was a thing that worked. But yeah, it's a good little 45 damage there. Pretty consistent too. I haven't really had an issue ever, getting this with any kind of lag online or anything. She also has quarter circle forward 2-1 back. We just talked about that. If you were going to use this move, unless it's at the end of a combo, I would probably just transition into Chaos Judgment. It's probably its best use, I'd say. And she also has, actually, out of down 4-1, one of her really important moves, as I said before. She can press down, it's down 4 back 1, or 1, down 4 1 back you can also do, which is good. But yeah, that goes directly into Chaos Judgment, so you get a little hit there, get some damage, and then you can keep them guessing that way. Since she can either do the hit afterwards, the Chaos Judgment transition, or she can go into sidestep, which is all options are pretty good. With that too, I guess I'll go into her sidestep moves. She only has 3 moves out of sidestep, so she's got sidestep 3, which is a very nice move. Hits grounded, hits grounded, it's a mid, leaves her in plus frames, so I typically use this move a lot too. It's pretty good move. She has sidestep 2, which is a low. This move is alright. I don't typically throw this out too much just because it's very negative on block. It's already pretty negative on hit, so it's alright. If you really want to use it, then I guess just go for it and party hard with her. It's kind of what you have to do a lot of the time anyway. And then she has her sidestep 1+2, which is a pretty good launcher. Wish I had the frames written down here. Don't think I do. Yeah, I'm not seeing the frames here. It's okay though. Sidestep 3 is mainly the one that I use a lot anyway. I think this is a very good move. It leaves her +4 on block, and it's +8 on hit. So this is another one of those moves where if they get hit with it, just like this move, you can pretty much do anything you want to do. And they're not really going to be able to do much about it. So a lot of the time, if I get a frame move that hits like that, I'll go into Chaos Judgment and do, this move, get more plus frames. I'm using, when I play her, I like to use a lot of moves that are plus frames a lot of the time, just so I can continue my offense and they can't do too much about it. So yeah, on that note too, I also wanted to talk about her plus frame moves. We've already talked about quite a few of them. It's probably all going to be the same, but sidestep 3, very good plus frame move. Forward 2, amazing plus frame move, homing move, great range. You get that little extra hit at the end. Let's see, down forward 4, as I said before, +5 on hit, negative 16 on block, so be careful, don't throw it out all the time, but do it every once in a while just to keep them guessing. The good thing too about this, I didn't mention before, when you throw this out, you also get this, her down back 3 +4. You can do a couple other things too. Oops. Like you can do her snake edge. That's guaranteed to hit. However, there's 2 different versions too when you hit with this. See, if you hit right there, you get 37 damage. We have to use it almost immediately afterwards. There's something like weird with the hitbox where if you don't hit, if you hit like on the edge, I think it doesn't give you the 37 damage. But either way, it's still worth throwing it out there, even if you don't get the 37 damage, just because it's pretty consistent and it's guaranteed anyway. What else? Chaos Judgment down 3-3, great plus move. Chaos Judgment 1, great plus frame move. Down 4-1, great plus frame move. Also, okay, here we go. I didn't talk about this. Down 3-4-1. This string, down 3 is all right. Down 3-4 is natural if. Actually, no. I'm pretty sure it jails. Don't quote me on that though. I think it's natural though. I'm pretty sure if it hits. So if down 3 hits, down 4 will hit. So you get 30 damage right there. But you have to be careful because against certain opponents that know how to deal with this move, it's very, very linear and it's very easy to see coming once you see her do the 2 kicks. So a lot of people will end up sidestepping it or do something, like a parry or something stupid to get out of it. But if they don't do that, down 3-4, down 3-4-1 is +5 on hit and +2 on block. So when you throw this move out, you're at plus frames. So you can either do, most of the time I do a 10 frame move, so 2-3, 2-3 back. Either that, or I will do, you know, down forward 1, just because it's 11 frames at that point, after, if it's on block, if I have that. It's gonna beat out most of what they do, other than like a, you know, dick jab. But, oh, it's also another very good important tool for Anna, which I didn't mention before. Her down, so most characters in this game have a generic, well, all characters have generic down, you know, dick jab. They call it DP, whatever. So yeah, but the thing with Anna and Nina also have an extra extension on theirs. Most characters are only going to get this, or, you know, that, or 2. But it's very good. This move that they have, that Anna and Nina both have, down 1-4 is very good for breaking pressure. So if someone is, you know, on top of you and you have no idea what to do to get them off of you, then just do this. I mean, they're not always going to get hit by the mid, but it puts a little bit of space in between you, gives you 15 damage, and then you get to, you know, take a breath and either try to go in for offense or, you know, just stay out here and whiff punish something and then do your thing. This is a very good move though. So maybe we should talk about her full crouch game now. So I was talking about this move before. I like to use this move a lot to get into full crouch. These are the typical, these 2 things I like to do a lot. I either use her quarter circle forward stance, which is very good because it gives you, instead of just, you know, being up in their face and ducking, and to get into full crouch, you can either do this move, which leaves you in crouch, so you're already in their face, and you're already in their face. Hopefully you got plus frames off that hit, or did some damage. Or instead of doing that, you can go from about this range and do her quarter circle forward and dash in. Well, not that range, but dash in, and then you're able to go in for a full crouch mix-up. Gives a little bit more range to some of the moves. But from full crouch, Anna has a couple different ones. These are the only moves that I use. Anna has her, when she's in full crouch, is down forward 2, which is this little launcher right here. There's 2 different combos you can get off of it, depending on how close you are. So if you're at, you know, not point blank range, you're not going to be able to get the good combo, but you can get this little, right there, the down 3-4-1, which is still good. It's very consistent. It hits all, if you're at the wall, it'll put them, it'll spike them. It'll give you, you know, a floor break. But you can also get some good Oki if they don't get up from the stun. However, the other combo that I usually go for, depending on, it doesn't always hit. It's very timing specific and not super consistent, but it works a lot once you get the timing right. It's down forward 2, and then this little thing right here. So yeah, you get 49 damage off that. You have to wait pretty much, if you're gonna do this combo, you have to wait until, like, once you see Anna's foot move, you know, 1 step, that's when you have to hit down 4-1. To actually, oh, well, you have to be at point blank range also. So yeah, the instant that you see Anna's foot move, just then you go for down 4-1. Which is also really good about down 4-1, you can use it from full crouch, so you don't have to worry about being in standing position. Also, it low crushes too, forgot to mention that before. So if you want to just throw this out, if you think they're going to do a high, you're going to hit them, and you can do whatever you want to do after that, out of the 3 options you have from down 4-1. Also, another move that I use, I basically only use 3 moves out of Anna's full crouch. I do this most of the time. You really need to keep using lows with Anna. Anna's lows are pretty okay. I mean, you get good reward. A lot of them are high risk, but you know, it's worth it in the end if you're not spamming them, the opponent isn't reading you. But however, after I throw this out a couple times, they're obviously going to know what you want to do, because this is her, you know, main damage move, I want to say, out of full crouch. She has two armored moves. So her second armored move, this is her first armored move, which is it's down back 1+2. Pretty alright, it's got some decent range. It's a mid, which is good, but all mid armored moves are not safe on block, so you don't want to just throw it out, you want to make sure the opponent's going to press something before, so you can do this. The armor frames start pretty fast too, so you don't have to worry about getting, you know, knocked out of the armor. But her second move is full crouch forward 2. So this move puts them grounded, gives you knockdown for some good Oki. And most of the time, after you're spamming this, you're gonna frustrate the opponent enough to where they're gonna be like, alright, this dude's gonna do this again. But then you do forward 2. I mean, I would only do this though if you have enough health, obviously, to armor through. You can get like a stomp that's guaranteed. You can do a wine opener. You can do a bunch of different things. Most of the time though, I would say, I mean, that's what I do. The real mix-up though is between down forward 2 and then while standing 2, because then you're gonna get a launcher both times. And this is actually probably a little bit better because you're gonna get a real combo instead of the little ghetto one that you get from the full crouch down forward 2. So yeah, see, it's already more damage. So 62 with me missing that last hit like I've continuously done throughout this entire tutorial. But yeah, so instead of 49, you get 60. So yeah, but that's the main mix-up. The only other move I think that's really worth mentioning from full crouch is Anna's forward 1, which is, it's pretty quick, I thought. Oh, it's not exactly quick. The other two moves, the down forward 2 and forward 2 are both 20 frame startup. This is a 22 frame startup, so I would not really throw this out. It's her wall bounce move, but I don't really use it a lot. I think there's I think the other options that you have from full crouch are way better. I guess unless you're at the wall, but even then I'd still rather use the forward 2, just, you know, for the Oki and the armor, because you never know if they're gonna hit you. Okay, so that's pretty much everything, I guess, except for her launchers and throws. The only throws that I'm really gonna mention are her up forward 1+2. This is a very great throw. I oftentimes will go into a move with plus frames. Let's just put her in guard. So yeah, so go into a move with plus, well, she did that other hit whiffs because she guarded. So yeah, plus frame move. If you're gonna use this throw a lot of the time, I like to disguise it as a frame trap, because a lot of the time I am just sitting there hitting them. They don't really expect the command throw to come out. It's a 1+2 break, so it's not very easy for everyone to see unless you're using it a lot. You can see it, how much damage it does. It does 2 hits, last hit being 20 damage. I didn't quite see what the last one was, but I think it's like 50 damage. This throw can be tech rolled. I'm not exactly sure how to do it myself, but they can tech roll it and it will do significantly less damage, but it's still good because as you can see, it throws them pretty far. It's a good get off me tool if you're at the wall. It's also good if your opponent's back is towards the wall, because if you throw them and they hit the wall, they can't tech it. So you're right there in their face, and most likely you're gonna get some good Oki. Also, her other move is, her other throw that I really like to use a lot is down forward 1, which is this. 43 damage, pretty decent. Comes out pretty fast. It's a little bit seeable. I usually spam down forward 1s when I'm going to use this move. I'll spam down forward 1s and then out of nowhere I'll just throw this in there, because the opponent will be constantly blocking. That's kind of my solution, I think, that I use against characters that like to parry, because they can't really do anything about that. The other way that you can use this throw too, I'm not too good at it yet, I just learned about this the other day. If you use her roll to get in, you have to press down and then 1 down forward, and then the second down forward with the input. and it will activate the throw. But I'm not too good at it. I haven't practiced it enough. Just know it's there. I don't even think I'd be able to get it to show you. There we go. So yeah, you saw I rolled in from a little bit of a distance, and it's probably not going to happen again though. Yeah, let's just move on. Okay, so last thing, launchers. We already went over a couple of these. So her fastest one is down forward 2. Very good launcher. 16 frames. This is kind of the generic combo that I do for all of her launchers. Ah, not that. Yeah, so it's down forward 3-2, and then when you hold down forward, she goes into her crouch dash, and then from there I do quarter circle forward 1, and then her other spin move that she has. Oh, I forgot to. This is also her forward 3 is also a transition into Chaos Judgment stance, but okay, yeah, you hold back, and she goes into Chaos Judgment from forward 3. I wouldn't just throw that out a lot of the time. I'm pretty sure it's not safe on block, but it's there. So yeah, it's the combo that I use, forward 3-2, and then her ender, which is down forward 3-1-4. It's typically the ender I use for all of her combos. Very consistent, a lot of good damage, okay wall carry. Second launcher I'd go over is Chaos Judgment up forward 4 for hop kick. Again, don't throw this out too much. -14 on block, you will get punished for it, especially if it's Kazuya or Josie. They're gonna get an immediate combo off of you. Up forward 4. This isn't really a good launcher either, but this is also there. There's 2 versions of this too. Her standing one, which is the better one, I'd say. Sometimes I randomly throw this out. It just happens when I'm trying to do this move, because this move I forgot to mention also goes into sidestep. But that move is up forward 4-3-4. But you have to press the third 4 in order to do the sidestep. It's not really too good by itself. I mainly just use this for the sidestep. But yeah, sometimes when I do that, you have to tap it to get that 4 kick. Sometimes I'll hold it and I accidentally get this move. It is 18 frame startup and -18 on block, so I would definitely not use this move if you can avoid it. She has way better launchers. Down 3-2 is a pretty good launcher that she has. She has this version of it, down 3-2, which is 22 damage, or she also has 3-3-2. 3-3-2 works sometimes. I think the first 2 3s are natural, I think, but don't hold me to it. However, it only launches on counter hit, so actually no, that's a lie. It launches on regular hit too. That's what I'm doing right now. But most of the time I would use down 3-2. You have to be careful though. It's -13 on block. So again, Kazuya and Josie, whoever else has 13 frame launchers will punish you pretty hard for that. So don't go throwing it out unless you know you're gonna hit it. It's got pretty good high crush though for the down 3. So if you think they're gonna do a high, then most of the time it's a good idea to throw the 2 out too, just because they're probably already pressing another button and you're gonna get the launch. She also has up forward 1-3, 3+4. The 1-3 at the beginning of this string, if you just do 1-3, the 3 counter hits. So if you want to just throw those 2 out, it's all right to do. I probably would not though, just because you can add the extra. Most of the time when I use this move, I just do the whole thing, because you're gonna get a launch anyway, and the whole string is safe actually on block. It's only -4, so you're good unless they're gonna hit you. The in between part from the 3 the 3 into the 3 plus 4, they can actually hit you out of that. I'm pretty sure they can. It's a float.